Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, everybody. My name is Muhammad Arief. I'm from International Relation B classes, Riau University. Today, I'd like to tell you about spotting detail and transition signal. Okay, what is spotting detail? Spotting details are those facts and ideas that prove or explain the main idea of a paragraph. When authors use various types of spotting information to explain a controlling idea of a topic, sentence, or a textbook section. There, there are four types of spotting details, which is examples, which give us an example on the detail that support the main idea of a paragraph or etc. And there are description. Description here mean the spotting details use a description to give a proper explanation on the main idea. And the third one is fact and statistic. On fact and statistic, we use fact on something that relevant to the main idea that we are talking about, and statistic, which means we are using data from number or any other resources, which is like research, or any other data to give a proper explanation on the main idea of a paragraph that we have. And lastly, we have citation of research evidence. This is the most important thing for us student on university, that we need to use a citation of research evidence on many of our things, like thesis, a journal, script, and etc. Okay, let us move to the example. This is a speech from President-elect Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. or Joe Biden, which has been declared victorious on United States presidential election 2020. Okay, there are first sentence. We cannot repair the economy, restore our vitality, or release life's most precious moment, be a grandchild, birthday, wedding, graduation, and all the moments that matter most to us until we get this virus under control. Well, this is the kind of thing that we conclude. This is a supporting detail on this one, description, that we give a description on this supporting detail. We got a description and etc. And on Monday, I will name a group of leading scientists, blah blah blah, and this is on this type, the station of research evidence, because on this slide, on this sentence, we see that Biden and Harris will use an expert to give their own advice starting from January 20, 2020. And this is, it will be constructed out of compassion, empathy, and concern. Well, this is on this one example. On this sentence, we see that there are an example of what we'll see on the plan that he claimed will be a bedrock of science. He said that compassion, empathy, and concern will be their main construction. And lastly, we see this letter blue. I will now be an American president. Well, on this sentence, it's conclude that it from this kind of sporting detail, which is fact and statistic. Why? Because he already declared as the president-elect of United States, and when he say I will now be an American president. That's the basic fact that we know. Okay, then let us move to the next one. This is transition signal. What is transition signal? Well, transition are linking word or phrases that a writer used to lead the order from one idea to another. If you get in the habit of recognizing transition, you will see that they often guide you through a paragraph, enabling you to read it more easily. So basically, transition is a word that we can commonly see that connect phrases and phrases or etc. That if you know it, it will be easier for you to read the script or paragraph or etc. And there were there were 7 common transitions such as time sequence, which is we'll be using on like first, second, third, then, or etc. It's used on number based thing. And number 2, example. On example, the main transition signal will be such as and etc. that give us the way to explain the example, the transition from giving an explanation to giving an example, then we need to have a common transition. Well, next is enumeration. Enumeration just like time sequence, but on enumeration it will be more complicated because on enumeration we'll need to have a proper number and etc. And next is continuation. Continuation basically transition to give us a lead with one and other word that are common and don't have any distracted mean from the other, so it will be continuating the word from the other. And what is contrast? Transition of contrast will be such well, it becoming a conflicting idea within a sentence within a paragraph that will give you a contrast situation. So we need a transition signal like meanwhile or any other type of contrasting transition. On the sixth one is comparison. Comparison will have and we have to phrases or words that are need to be compared, so we use a comparison type of transition signal. Comparison transition signal will be like one blah 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 blah. Uh, Meanwhile, blah 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 blah. Well, that kind, just like a comparison between two things. Okay, and lastly, we have cause and effect. What is cause and effect? We'll have a phrase that give us the cause, and then there are a transition signal to mark that there are something that causing something. An example we'll see on the next slide. Okay, let's move on. On this slide, we have so many blue. There are uh, blue on N. What is N? N is a form of N will like to form on continuation type of transition. Meanwhile, that here mean the let's see what does that mean. That here will be an example. That here it is the honor of my lifetime that so many people have voted for this vision. Well, we can see that it clearly gives us the feel that on this sentence will give us an example on what we'll be doing. Okay, we move here without and but. Both of them is on supposedly to be on one type, which is I give it an without and but it came here on contrast. Why? because you can see that I would not be here without the love and tireless support of Jill, Hunter, Ashley, etc. This is the first phrase, and the rest of the phrase is contrasted. So we use this kind of transition, and we can see here she has dedicated her life to education, but teaching isn't just what she does, it's who she is. We see the first phrases is different from the second phrases, and to give us a signal we use but in here. Okay, on this color, because I already told you that because is a cause and effect kind of transition signal. Why? Because this is a great day. Why? Because you are going to have one of your own in the White House. Okay, this is a great day. This is the effect. Why does the effect happen? Because you are going to have one of your own in the White House. Okay, and the last type we are able to see here is first. First, as we say, it is on enumeration and the time sequence. Why? On enumeration, this is the Kamala Harris here is the first woman, first black woman, first woman of South Asian descent, and first daughter of immigrant. This is the enumeration. I mean, this is a time sequence. That means there will be a second, third, and another. And meanwhile, on the enumeration, Kamala Harris is the first, the number one woman and black woman, etc., to hold this office. I think that's all from me. See you next time.